Hello Oracle Geeks, this is Justin, and in this Oracle Database YouTube video tutorial, we're going to get into the internals of the Oracle Database. And what we're going to talk about are dynamic performance views. Okay, what they are, what they're used for, and how they're structured internally. So, without further ado, here we go, Oracle Dynamic Performance Views. So, let's go ahead and set our Oracle SID to Finance. Let's ensure that we're set properly. And let's connect to our finance database via our SQL Plus program. Okay, connected. Now, let's go ahead and ensure that we are connected to the correct database. Select name from $$ database. And as you can see, we are connected to finance. Now, this is the perfect example. $$ database is a dynamic performance view. But what exactly does that mean? What is it? Well, here we go. If you were to do a select view name from DBA views, where view underscore name, so that's select view underscore name from DBA underscore views, where view underscore name equals $$ database. And this is basically telling us, we're basically asking Oracle to return all the database views defined to this database. We'll get no rows selected. Why? Well, the name's a little bit deceiving because $$ database is not a view. Okay, and it's not a view in the sense that we know it. It's called a fixed view or a fixed table. Allow me to explain. If we do select view name from select name from $$ fixed table where name is equal to v database, so that's select name from $$ fixed underscore table where name equals $$ database, we get output back. Okay? Because $$ database is a fixed view. It is not a database view that we know, as we know it. Okay? Let's dive a little deeper into this. Okay? If we were, fixed views are created automatically when you start an Oracle database instance. Okay, they are created and populated automatically. And they are created and populated based on an underlying structure called $X tables. And $X tables are also created automatically on database instance startup and destroyed automatically on Oracle database instance shutdown. Okay? And if you were to look at the definition of this fixed view, you will see you'll see what I'm talking. Let's take it from another layer. You see, this is just it's gonna be difficult to communicate. I'm gonna try my best though. Okay, go bring a notepad, a little file over here for us so we can type here. Okay, this is the structure of a dynamic performance view. Okay, the first thing you have, and we'll take our $$ database as an example, is a public synonym. That's what this is. The public synonym points to the view name, which is actually this. $, the name of the view, in this case database. The actual view name points to the fixed view, $, database. The fixed view, $, database, points to another fixed view called GV, global database. And the GV database points to one or two X tables. Okay? So this right here is the structure. It's a chained, you think of it as a link, okay? You got $$ database, which is the public synonym. You have $_ database, which is the view. You have v underscore database, which is the fixed view. You have gv under $ database, which is another fixed view, and you have x dollar table. Okay. Now, so let's walk through that structure together. If we do a select synonym name from DBA synonyms, where synonym name is equal to v $ database, okay, we will see that there is a public synonym called v $ database. And if we select the table name that makes up this synonym, that the synonym is based off of, created off of, where synonym name is equal to v $ database, we will see that the public synonym v$ database is actually created. So we see that the public synonym v$ database is actually created from the v underscore dollar database view. And there it is, v$ database public synonym pointing to the v underscore dollar database view. And we see that by doing select view name from DBA views, where view name is equal to v underscore dollar database. And we see that it's a view. Now, we're going to set our long to 2000. And if I say select text from DBA views, where view name is equal to v underscore dollar database, okay, I get the text of the view. And if we take a look at the v underscore dollar sign database view, okay, we're looking from a from. There it is, from v$ database. So it's not pointing back to the public synonym. It's pointing to the fixed view. Okay. So if we go up here, we will see. So if we go back to our paper here, we will see that v$ database public synonym points to v underscore dollar database view, and this view points to the v$ database fixed view. Here it is, fixed view. So as you can see, the v underscore dollar sign database view, the database view, points to the v$ database fixed view. And if we say select view definition from v$ fixed view definitions, where view name is equal to v$ database. Oops. I'm sorry, it's select view definition from v$ fixed view definition, where view name is equal to v$ database. And if we look for from, we will see gv $database. Okay? So we see that v$ database, which is a fixed view, points to the fixed view gv $database. So here it is. v$ database fixed view points to gv $database. And if we were to look at the view definition of gv $database, we will see that if we look for our from, here it is, from, we will see that it's pointing to two or more x dollar tables. Okay, so we see here that our gv database view, fixed view, points to two or more x dollar tables. And there it is, our gv database fixed view points to one or more X dollar table. Okay, so now to view all the X dollar tables in your database, type in the following. Type in select name from, and we'll turn pause on here. Select name from $v fixed table where name like X X dollar wildcard. And these are all your fixed tables that are in your database. Okay? And these are created automatically and maintained automatically when you start an Oracle database instance, and they are just automatically destroyed every time you shut down your Oracle database instance. Okay, 798 of them, and the number of them will vary depending on the release of Oracle that you have and what features you have enabled and whatnot. Now, there is a method to Oracle's madness in a naming convention of these X dollar tables. Okay, they're just a memory, they don't exist. Okay, keep that in mind. They're rebuilt every time you restart the database instance. Okay, and the first couple letters denote the Oracle kernel module, if you will, or Oracle DBMS kernel layer, okay, that they refer to, that they reference. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that's the reference. So X dollar tables have the first few letters reference the layer of the Oracle DBMS kernel. Now, if you were to say select table name from DBA tables where table name like X%, you will see that there's you'll see these, but you won't see these because these are not tables as you would expect them to be. They're not database tables. They're just called tables, so it's a little bit misleading. They're virtual. Okay? Okay, so X dollar tables are not real tables. Okay, name can be misleading. They're dynamic. They're dynamic. They're virtual tables which reference internal structures of the Oracle database instance. Okay? So, let's go ahead and let's talk about the structure a little more here. Okay? And bear with me, it's tough to explain, but I'm going to try my best here. So DBAs typically review dynamic performance views to get information about an Oracle database instance. And a lot of the information that they can gather from these views are performance-related information. How many bytes a certain session has written to redo log buffers, how many bytes a certain session has written to data block buffers. Okay, all this information, and there's a wealth of information, can really assist DBA in the performance analysis of an Oracle database. Okay, and so they're very, very, very imperative to a DBA's job. Okay, and they reference X table names, and you'll notice that the X table names are very cryptic, and that's why you kind of need dynamic performance views on top of them, so they're more readable, more easy to understand from the DBA perspective. Okay, so we know that the view, the fixed dollar, that the view $sign database view is based on the one or more X dollar tables. Okay. Now, what is this GV database fixed view all about? Well, that's global, and basically what that is if you're running a rack instance, real application clusters used to be called Oracle Parallel Server in version 8 and below. It gives you, rack is an architecture where multiple instances mount one database for a high availability clustering solution for Oracle. And what the GV will do is it will give you for every $$ fixed view that there's a $$ fixed view, for just about anyway, just about. And the only difference is there's an inst underscore ID. Okay, so for inst column in the GV view that the $$ view doesn't have. For instance, if I were to do a describe on $$ database such as this, we get a wealth of information here. DBID, name, created, and so on and so forth. If we do a describe on GV $ database, okay, the only difference is, you see how we have a DBID as our first column of this view here? Well, guess what? In the GV database, it has DBID, name, created, all the information that the vSolid database does, but it also has inst underscore ID. So it's the only one. So that's the only difference between the two views. So the only difference between the $$ view and the GV $ view is the fact that the GV view has the inst ID number, and the $$ view does not. And this view is really not applicable in a non-rack environment, what we call a single instance environment. Okay. So dynamic performance views are fixed views. Okay, so if you were to type in the following, if you were to say drop view $$ database, okay, you'll see that drop view Bob. Okay, you'll see that it is a view. The database sees it as a view because when you say drop view $$ database, it says can only select from fixed table views. Okay, and when I do the drop view Bob, which I know doesn't exist, it says table review does not exist. Okay, so this is actually considered a view. You just can't see it through DBA underscore views because it's a fixed view, and Oracle is saying that you can only select from that view because it's a fixed view. Now, let's do the same thing with an X table. Let's do a drop table, and let's pick this table here, which is the base table that we're talking about, and this is a fixed table as well, by the way. And again, drop table Bob, it says table of view does not exist. And again, when we try to drop this table, it says can only select from fixed table. So you can't perform any DDL, DML, or DCL operations against a fixed view or a fixed table. That includes the DCL, database control language, that includes select statements. So if I were to say grant select, so let's say that I wanted to give user Justin access to the $$ database view. Okay, well, I'll create a user, create user Justin, identified by password Justin123, grant create session to Justin. Okay, and I log in as Justin. Select name from $$ database, like so. Okay, select name from $$ database, like so. As user Justin, I don't have access to him by default, that view. So your first thought would be, oh, it's a view, I'll just do the following. I'll just say as sysdba, I'll say grant select on $$ database to Justin. Grant select on $$ database to Justin. Can't do it. Can only select from fixed tables. So how do I give Justin access to this fixed view? Well, I have to do it on a view, not a fixed view. And remember, there is a view, $$ database. That's what it's for. So I do select, grant select on $$ database to Justin. Now, when I log in as user Justin into the database, show user, and do a select name from $$ database, I get output back. I can do it. Why? Because I granted access to $$ database. Okay, and that gives me access, to that view via the public synonym. Remember, public synonyms you always have access to. And by giving me access to the table or the view that that public synonym is based on, I now can view it. Okay? So, a quick review. Dynamic performance views, and there's hundreds of them, allow the Oracle give information about the Oracle database instance in regards to performance. All kinds of statistics are updated through the life of an instance, and that's what the $, and that's what the dynamic performance views do. Okay, there's a public synonym and a view. The public synonym called $database, and a view called $database, which is used to give access to non-DBA users to your dynamic performance views. There is a $database fixed view, which is the actual dynamic performance view. He's based on the GV database fixed view. Okay, and the reason why he's based on that is because there needs to be one for every one. So there needs to be a one-to-one relationship. There needs to be a GV for every V, because you could be running a rack instance. Okay, and every GV $database fixed view is based on one or two or more X dollar table structures. Okay, so the X dollar tables, the GV dollar fixed view, and the V dollar fixed view are all virtual. They only exist in instance memory. They only exist while the instance is up and running. Instance, you can use that as to mean database. And they give statistics about the Oracle database. X dollar table, think of it as information that's being pulled directly from the SGA, the memory area of the Oracle database. Okay? So that's the internal structure on how the dynamic performance views are put together in Oracle. A little difficult to explain. Any questions, just email me or post some comments. I'll be more than happy to go deeper if I can. Okay, thank you.